here, Wheeler Healthy You. Today is Massage Wednesday, and we're going to do an inner thigh rollout. The best thing to use really for the inner thighs is the roller. I like these rollers because they're really good at rolling. And the foam rollers are great too. The ones that are a little more squishy, depending on what you have at home. You can use a ball, but typically you have to put yourself up onto a platform in order for it to work as well. You can still do it on the floor. It's just sometimes it can be a little awkward depending on how long your legs are and what kind of surface you're on. So this is the best tool I have found for the inner thighs. Now, the good thing about doing this, especially if you want to do it before a workout, is if you go into a squat, and we'll just do a regular squat first, and if you feel like there's some pulling or stretching on that inner thigh, then this is sometimes good to do to allow you to kind of sit back into that between those legs with a little bit more ease. Now, if this is really easy, you can go a little bit wider, so now we're putting a little more stress on the inner thighs as far as flexibility goes. So then you want to do this, and you can always push the knees out and just kind of compare the two sides, if one side feels tighter than the other, or just how they feel. And then we'll retest that after we do the roller, and just see if there's a difference, see if it's easier, and that's ultimately the goal. The other thing you can do is you can use this after a workout. If you did a lot of inner thigh work or lateral work, or your inner thighs are just sore from a hard workout, this is a great tool to use post-workout as well. So if you lie on your stomach and the roller is going to be parallel to you, and then what you're going to do is you're going to bring your leg up so it's about perpendicular to your body as high as you can. It can be low too, and we're going to start right near the groin, and we're just going to roll that out. So we're going to do kind of 3 different sections. So right as close to the groin as we can, then the middle of the leg, and then the bottom of the leg. And you're just kind of rolling that out. And just a little side note, make sure that, especially when we start to go to extending and bending, when we go to extending and bending of the leg, you want to make sure that your back's not compensating to do it. So if you need to, you can lower your arms down or lower your head down, and you can do it from here. Because we just don't want to try to increase range of motion by moving from the lower back. Okay? So you do that about 5 to 10 times, depending on how you feel. And then we'll go to that next section, and we're just kind of exploring that middle area of the inner thigh. Nothing super painful, no numbness or tingling. If you do feel any of that, then make sure you move off of whatever you're on. And once you find a more dense area in the middle, you can hold it and you can extend and bend. And it really gets good blood flow to the inner thighs, and it puts you through that range of motion of knee flexion and extension. Okay, and then you go to that last section, you just roll that out. And you can sometimes get a little bit of that inner quad as well, but that's not as much of the focus right now. And then again, once you find a more tender or dense spot, you can extend and bend. And just because something's tender, because something's doesn't hurt, let's say, or not tender, doesn't mean it doesn't need work. It's just those areas tend to stand out. Pay attention to the tissue quality as well. So if it's really dense or fibrous or just feels different, pay attention to that as well. And you can always pin and stretch that area. Okay, about 5 to 10 times. And then I like to just do like a full roll of the full inner thigh. And then you would come up. And then you're going to go into that squat again. You can start normal. And for me, this feels so much better. I mean, it just feels light, feels loose. I love it. Makes me happy. And then it gets registered to my brain too. So then when I go to do a squat, it's going to feel so much more comfortable. I'm going to be able to kind of focus on the movement, and again, much less. The right side feels a little bit tighter because I haven't done that yet, but much less on that left. And if you do both sides, which I always recommend doing both, then your squat is going to feel much more comfortable, especially if there is some tightness in the inner thighs. All right. So that's Massage Wednesday, inner thighs, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future, and make sure you're starting to incorporate these into your programs.